Those two helmets stayed there from the first series. They have not moved. Wind has not blown them off the top of the mountain. Gotta love it. Rockies and Diamondbacks opening up a 3-game set tonight in the Valley of the Sun, and we're happy to report the roof is open. It's been open more often than it's been closed so far in the month of April for Arizona. Well, this ballpark typically relinquishes some runs. Charlie Blackmon is back healthy, and he has really swung the bat well in his career against Robbie Ray, despite the fact that Ray is a left-hander. 5 for 8 lifetime against Ray. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight for Walt Weiss. For the first time this year, Cargo will get a day off. It was planned. And Trevor Story will bat second. Nolan slides up to the 3 spot. Mark Reynolds, the former Diamondback, will bat cleanup. Ryan Rayburn's been terrific as a starter. He's been good coming off the bench. Gerardo Parra, another former D-back. Nick Hundley, DJ LeMahieu, and Tyler Chatwood to face Robbie Ray, who comes in with a 3.80 ERA. He'll walk some guys, Huey.
Well, and that's the big difference from last year and the year before to this year. In 14 and 15, he walked 3.5 batters per 9 innings. This year, 5.5. That's why you see the number of 13 up there higher. And for Robbie Ray, it is a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup mix. Fastball 93 miles an hour on average. Will cut it some, tries to sink it, get some ground ball outs. And he'll throw that fastball 71% of the time. How about that? And then the slider to the right-handers and the curveball more to the left-handers, although there are only a couple in the lineup tonight for the Rockies.
So Robbie Ray is ready to go. Robbie Ray in his last outing went just 3 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits against the Pirates. And the first pitch of the ball game is up and in, ball 1. Ray, and that pitch is fouled back, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike. It's really pleasant right now. It's 80 degrees. And even this afternoon, it was just a perfect day to be outside. Rockies are fortunate, so they're playing 2 April series against the Diamondbacks, and then they won't come back here till September when it typically cools off a little bit.
Well, from 110 to about 108. It's still a little warm in September, but right now it is about as gorgeous as you can get down here.
And that pitch is low, 3-1.
Kind of the MO for Robbie Ray, as we mentioned a moment ago. Trouble commanded the fastball in his last outing against the Pirates. That's what led to only the 3 innings pitched.
And the 3-1 pitch is popped up, shallow right field. Going back is Drury, and finally called off late by David Peralta. Diamondbacks have been a middle-of-the-road defensive team so far in April. Yasmani Tomas is in left field. Chris Owens has done fine in center field. Forced into action because A.J. Pollock in all likelihood out for the year. David Peralta in right field. Jake Lamb, Gene Segura getting the start for Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Segura is off to a fabulous start. Brandon Drury, more of a third baseman, playing second. The Gold Glover at first is Paul Goldschmidt naturally, and Wellington Castillo is behind home plate. Well, this young man became a national phenomenon when he opened his big league career facing the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field. And in that first series, 4 hits, all home runs, 7 RBIs. First player, of course, in history to have 2 home runs in their debut, which came on opening day. And oh, by the way, that was against the guy who's pitching tomorrow, Zach Greinke. He had the $33 million a year salary.
And I think all those home runs totaled up to about 1,600 feet they were hit so far.
Now there's that good arm of Ray. 95 up and away. It's 0-2 on Story.
Ray out of high school in Tennessee. He had originally signed to go to pitch at the University of Arkansas.
He was on the 18U Team USA team. Well, it's always interesting now to see what kind of uniforms Arizona will come out in. And they voted on social media this week as to what they would wear tonight. And I guess that's what the fans came up with. They have like 76 different combinations.
Yeah, it's...
And I'm not exaggerating by a lot.
No, they have some grays and the bottom of their pants on the back. This is the teal version. They also have a red version, Sedona red.
They've already worn 8 different combinations this year.
They're trying to match the Oregon Ducks. Is that what they're trying to do?
It appears that that's what they're doing. That's fouled off. Yeah, I mean, they listed in their game notes. In white and red, they're 1-3. White and teal, they're 2-2. Red, they're 2-3. Black, 1-1. The Los D-backs, they haven't worn that one yet. Purple, they're 1-1. Gray and red, they're 3-1. Gray and teal, they're 2-1. And then they have a category other uniforms. That's bounced up the middle, and Trevor Story, good at bat, behind in the count. You know, he's had trouble with the strikeout so far in his young career, but behind in the count, he bounces it up the middle for a 1-out single.
Fouled 2 fastballs off directly behind, and then gets the 83-mile-an-hour slider right past Robbie Ray's glove. When you and I were chatting with Trevor in the dugout today prior to the game, and said to him, it's kind of nice when you come back to a ballpark for the second time, you have that familiarity. And he said, yeah, it makes a big difference.
Well, you remember when you broke in, everything is new.
Yeah.
Everything you do, the hotels are new.
How do you get to the ballpark?
Yeah, how you get to the ballpark, who you go with. That cuts inside on Nolan.
The playing surface, the backdrop, the fans, the clubhouse, everything that you can imagine is all brand new. But the second time, you start to feel more comfortable in your environment.
Outfield straight up for Arenado, tied for the major league lead in home runs with 9, along with Trevor Story. Bryce Harper has 9 also. Neil Walker of the Mets has 9. I don't know, did Walker go deep today? The Mets have 12 runs against the Giants. This ball's in the air to center field, pretty deep but playable. Owings makes the catch, 2 outs. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds.
Number 12, Mark Reynolds.
Showed a shot just a moment ago of Nolan where he was trying to check that bat for the sound of it. We had a demonstration of that maybe about a week or 10 days ago when we were at home, and how he's trying to listen to make sure it still sounded like it wasn't cracked.
No home runs for Walker, by the way. Cespedes hit his 7th.
Okay.
There he goes. He's checking it out. Doesn't pass muster. He won't be bringing it up next time. Mark Reynolds sitting in the cleanup spot for the first time this year. Not an unfamiliar spot for Reynolds. 45 home runs and 192 career games batting cleanup. 2-out Story takes his lead off first. Shift is on in the infield for Reynolds. Well, the Rockies need a quick jump in a game. They're 3-9 this year, Huey, when the opposition scores first.
Well, the last time they scored first was way back in the Cincinnati series.
And we know they've lost 5 straight, despite a couple of maniacal comebacks, only to fall late. Wednesday being the latest one. They were down 7-0, best comeback since 2010, and they lost 8-7, or excuse me, 9-8 in 12 innings. Ryan Rayburn's on deck if Reynolds can reach. And it's squibbed foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mark on the homestand was 8 for 18, hitting at a 444 clip.
There's Rayburn. Rockies loading up on right-handed bats. Robbie Ray hasn't given up much to lefties this year.
0.91 average. That one was pretty close to a balk, just the way he was stepping. Have to draw that imaginary 45-degree line from the rubber to home plate. That was right, pretty close.
And that's in the dirt, 3-2. So Story will be moving here. Just underway in the desert. The Rockies won 2 out of 3 against Arizona to open the season. Last year, this place was a house of horrors for Colorado. 2-8 at Chase Field last year. 6-13 overall against the Diamondbacks. First game of a 10-game road trip. 3 in San Diego, 4 in San Francisco. 3-2, and that's a called strike 3 by home plate umpire Paul Emmel. So Ray strikes out Mark Reynolds to end the inning. Tyler Chatwood to the mound here at Chase Field when we return. Inning number 1 with Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Tyler Chatwood getting ready to go. See Gene Segura and the former Brewers off to an amazing start. 346 batting average, leading the National League in hits with 36. Here's the Southwest batting order for Chip Hale this evening. Jake Lamb will bat second, then the incomparable Paul Goldschmidt. David Peralta, Yasmani Tomas, he's swinging the bat well. Wellington Castillo's hitting the long ball as he did last year. Brandon Drury has caught fire. Chris Owings, Robbie Ray. See the really good averages for, by and large, for Arizona. There's a lot of similarities. You look at Tyler Chatwood coming up here. A lot of similarities, Huey, between where the Diamondbacks are right now and where the Rockies are. Good offense, solid defense, but struggling with starting pitching in particular.
But not this guy, Tyler Chatwood. 2-2 on the season, 3.47 ERA. Out on the road, 2-0 with a 0.68 ERA.
Gerardo Parra's in right field for his buddy Cargo, and he catches that fly ball. 1 out, and that'll bring up Jake Lamb as we check the arsenal of Tyler Chatwood.
Fastball, slider, changeup, a lot like Robbie Ray. They both want to work down with their fastball. Tyler this year is getting more whiffs on his fastball. His whiff percentage is up almost 3-4 percentage points over the previous years, and especially on that high fastball. So it looks good to the hitter, but then they can't catch up to it.
And first pitch swinging. This is into center field. Charlie Blackmon. Good to call his name again, and Charlie has it. Lamb is retired. Defensively, it'll be Ryan Rayburn, Charlie Blackmon, and Gerardo Parra in the outfield. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, and Mark Reynolds. That combination in the infield with Nick Hundley doing the catching. So Charlie's legs are good. The left foot, the big toe, is in a good place. Worked out yesterday at Salt River Fields after playing a couple of rehab games in the Cal League for Modesto. Goldschmidt takes a strike on the outside corner at 92, and it's 0-1. Goldschmidt, you saw the graphic that we showed during the lineup. He's reached in 38 consecutive games against the Rockies. off to a somewhat slow start by his standards, though he's still getting on base.
.415 average for Paul Goldschmidt. That's 13th best in the National League.
And the reason is, despite the .238 average, he leads the National League in walks with 23. In fact, he's already set the club record for walks in April.
It reminds me of a guy we just saw, Andrew McCutchen. Same thing, that they have the numbers to back it up in their career. They might be off to a slow start, but you're still scared of them when they come up in a ball game.
Well, because, you know, it's like Walt said with McCutchen. It scared him to death when he looked at McCutchen's numbers. He said he's going to break out at some point. You just hope it's not here. Of course it was. And the same thing with Goldschmidt. And low strike called by Paul Emmel, and Chatwood will take it. It's 3-2. No argument for Paul Goldschmidt. You can see in the Subaru strike zone, it was a tad bit low. Full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. And he bounced the breaking ball, so Goldschmidt walks again.
It's his 24th walk for Paul Goldschmidt, Major League leader.
Right field.
Herrera, Jose Batista, Joe Mauer.
That one surprised me.
Yeah.
Surprised me. Odubel Herrera, you know, he's not a home run guy. He's not somebody you're necessarily passing on.
And much younger than everybody else on that list, as far as Major League service time.
Yeah, basically came up last year. Here's Peralta, always a tough out. David hit over 300 last year. Career .372 hitter against the Rockies. That's 4th best of guys who have at least 100 at bats against the Rockies. 3 on the right side for Colorado. Chatwood's 0-1, and that's fouled off. So Cabrera, I was watching him earlier today. He's still pretty good.
And then we were watching Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday
eating dinner tonight.
We watched his at bat against Steven Strasburg, ended in a strikeout. But Strasburg strikes a lot of folks out. Goldschmidt will run on occasion. Here's the 0-2, and I was about to ring him up, but Paul Emmel has the sword. It's
not a strike on the Subaru strike zone, but it is a pitch that's very effective. That hip side fastball, you want to make it appear like David Peralta did, where it's really going to come inside, and then you try to catch that corner. He wasn't able, but close.
He went slider away. Peralta covered it. Talking to Walt yesterday, one of the things that the Pirates do really, really well is pitch in, but pitch in inside the strike zone. In other words, it's not just in. You want to move guys' feet from time to time, obviously, but they'll pitch in and get strikes as opposed to just pitching in and it's a take.
And I don't like those when it's so far in that the hitter's just going to spit on it. He's not even going to worry about it. But when, like that pitch to Peralta on 0-2, it was close enough that he thought, man, I'm not sure if I can take this or not. Looking on the 4th strike zone, now I was talking about the Subaru strike zone. I was talking about the 4th pitch. And that's the one that you look for as a pitcher.
One, two, and the breaking ball, and now Goldschmidt trying to move up, and he's safe. That's just good base running by Paul Goldschmidt. He was not going initially, read the dirt ball, and it'll be a wild pitch.
Well, he had the wild pitch, but then Nick has trouble getting out and around Peralta. He's looking to see what's happening. Peralta, he does nothing wrong because he's staying in the box. But then Nick had to come out and work out around him and throw sideways, or sidearm.
Two and two on Peralta, and a ground ball weakly hit to second. DJ's got it, no harm done. And a good solid start for Tyler Chatwood. We'll go to the 2nd, no score.
Yes, I do, and probably more than 9 innings worth of stuff to talk about for D. Gordon. We'll get to it after this pitch. But I think, well, first of all, it's wrong, plain and simple. And guys are going to say, oh, I didn't know I took it. You know what? That's wrong. You know what you take in your body. You know stuff that is illegal.
Well,
and it's easy to find out what you can and cannot take. So don't give me that, oh, I didn't know I took it, or I don't know how it got in there.
Ignorance doesn't cut it, because the system is cut and dry for major league players. First of all, they know products, and that's a walk to Rayburn. So he leads off the second with a walk. They know the products they can take. Most clubs supply the products, so the players know that they're ingesting things that are clean, if you will. And for instance, if you or I go to a health club now and we go get, a shake, a protein shake after, players can't do that. They know that they have to have everything checked out. So I've talked to some players, and they'll bring their own shakes. If they're going to a gym in the off season, they'll bring their own stuff. So ignorance is no longer where you say, boy, I didn't realize what I'd taken. This is what you do for a living, and you know that it can be checked out. You can be handed the stuff that will not obviously allow you to fail a drug test. So, D. Gordon is following that same path so many others have. I didn't realize, I apologize, and
that, to
all
me,
well and good, but it doesn't cut it.
No, it doesn't. To me, that's just a worthless apology, because you have everything in front of you as far as what I can take. You can ask a trainer. Everything is certified that you need to be able to do. This is your job. This is your profession. I feel sorry for the kids that look up to him and think, well, look at D. Gordon. The other thing, too, is his contract, other than what's happening during the suspension, is still going to be valid afterwards. So he's still going to make millions of dollars.
And the way it works is his contract signed, a $50 million deal, but his contract doesn't pay him a large amount by major league player standards this year. I mean, he's scheduled to make 3.3, but a couple of years from now he's going to make over 10, and later on in the contract almost 14. Parra hits it in the air to fairly deep left field. Tomas back will make the catch. 1 out. And that's what he's getting paid. So he'll miss 80 games this year, and it'll cost him basically half of that salary. And he is not eligible, if Miami makes some incredible run this year, he's not eligible to play in the postseason.
No, but he's still going to make $48.35 million over the life of that contract.
Here's the thing, and he came out and said, I didn't realize I made a mistake. I've passed over 20 drug tests in the past. I take full responsibility. But if he did go, to the local health club and have something, and it turns out that that's what the positive test was, it still doesn't fly, because you realize you can't act as, you or I can. Though I did not do so. Knowingly, I have been informed the test results showed I ingested something that contained prohibited substances. The hardest part about this is feeling that I've let down my teammates, the organization, and the fans. And he has. I've been careful to avoid products that could contain something banned by Major League Baseball, and the 20-plus tests that I've taken and passed throughout my career prove this. I made a mistake and accept the consequences.
But now the problem is if somebody else in the game is doing something good, people assume, or they'll start to think, well, is he on PEDs? And that's not fair to all the other players that have done stuff the right way.
Well, the latest guy that's dealt with that is Jake Arrieta. It's almost as if you can't have, and it's sad, that's a strike, 1 and 2 on Hundley. You can't have a tremendous physique through hard work or continued success at a new level without people whispering, oh, it must be because. Right. It's kind of sad. But there are people out there would argue that the players made their bed, and maybe not this group of players, but certainly 15 years ago. Another dirt ball, and now hung up is Rayburn. And he dives back, and he got a hand in. What a job by Ryan Rayburn. He avoided the tag of Goldschmidt while staying in the base path, and he averted danger there.
So he gets in the run now. See where Goldschmidt is, though? See how far he is away from first base? If he stays back and waits, he would be able to just catch it and apply the tag, but he was trying to close ground at the same time as that ball was coming. That allowed Ryan to slide out and around and reach it with his right hand. Better look on the Subaru Supermo. No, he missed him. Tremendous slide from Ryan, and he was helping the first base ump out as well.
So it's 2-2 on Hundley. 3-2. 6 players currently are serving a suspension for PEDs who are on 40-man rosters. One guy was banned from baseball because it was his 3rd offense. Henry Mejia, hard-throwing reliever for the Mets. And that is a strike on the inside corner, and Hundley's got it. That ball looked a little bit in also. Let's check in again with Jenny.
Second baseman, number 9, DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, Melky Cabrera was the other guy that was also caught and then ended up signing a big deal for millions of dollars. I totally agree. That's the way you kind of hopefully try to control the risk versus the monetary benefit.
The wild thing is, if you look at baseball and how they deal with PD use versus the other major sports, baseball is still the most punitive.
One thing I will say with Justin Verlander, I do agree with the baseball, the way they do it, that you have the right to appeal. And I think you could still play while you're appealing, because what if it does come back and you win your appeal?
This ball lined toward right center field. Good jump by Owings, and he'll leap and make the catch. So the Rockies got Rayburn aboard and leading off the inning. Couldn't do anything with it. Middle of 2, no score in Arizona.
Arizona, it's a Fan Friday, and our current topic is the suspension of D. Gordon. Well, I had to ask DJ LeMahieu, the Rockies' second baseman, about what he thought and if it's a black mark on baseball.
Yeah, it's disappointing. He cheated. You know, you'd like to think that he grinded his way from a guy who was a questionable big leaguer into a guy who's become. And you'd like to think that he did that on his own, but obviously not, and that's disappointing.
Drew, Jeff, honest words from DJ LeMahieu. Thought he might win the Gold Glove last year. D. Gordon won that award as well. And it was just interesting talking to DJ a little bit about a fellow second baseman and what happened with D.
Well, there's also a misnomer, I think, in many circles, is Tomas is up against Chatwood, and that pitch is down low, ball one. I think 30 years ago, even 15, 20 years ago, most of the guys who used performance-enhancing drugs, it was to get bigger, stronger, and hit the ball over the wall. There's a faction of athletes, or a large faction, that have cheated to help in aid in recovery. D. Gordon's never going to be a home run hitter. That's not his game. It's not like, okay, he was taking this stuff so he can all of a sudden hit 20 home runs a year. It's all about recovery. This ball bounced up the middle. Trevor can't get there, and Tomas has a leadoff single for Arizona. Wellington Castillo coming up as we go back to the studio and Jenny.
Number 7, Wellington Castillo.
That's a great point, because I think that's what the players look at too. Is it, well, you know, how many games did he win and to help them win? We lost. Did we not make the playoff? All of this comes into play. Bottom line is what he did was wrong, plain and simple. And for kids out there, you try to tell them, do the right thing. Look up to this guy, be this type of player, and then you have somebody like D. Gordon do this, and you wonder what it does to kids, and that's what I look at. For kids, you don't need to do that. Do it through hard work.
1-1 on Castillo outside, 2-1.
Just the whole notion of it gets me fired up.
No, I understand.
You know, it happened during my playing career, and it was probably the height of it then. And, you know, I'm playing against guys that are doing it, and you know, both sides are culpable in that. The union, the everybody was.
High fly ball to Parra in right. Castillo retired, 1 out, and that'll bring up red-hot Brandon Drury.
Second baseman.
Hard to take him out of the lineup right now. Drury hitting .385, 3 home runs, 7 driven in his last 10 ball games.
He's had home runs in back-to-back games and sitting 8 out of the last 10. Primarily an infielder, but they've been running him to the outfield to get his bat in there. Tonight he's at second base.
They put up huge numbers last year in Reno. And it's 0-2. Chatwood walked 1 in the first inning, gave up that seeing eye base hit to Tomas. It was just the 5th walk that he's allowed this year, which has kept his whip at 129. Walks and hits innings pitched, which is right about the major league average. And if you're at the major league average and you wear a Colorado Rockies uniform, it's a really good thing because we understand you're going to give up more hits typically at Coors Field with their expansive outfield, etc.
If you look at Chad Bettis's whip going into the last game, it was 1.03.
Both
Chad will start on Sunday.
Yeah, Bettis and Chad would have been two top starting pitchers for the Rockies here in the early going. 1-2. And the sliders off the plate. 2-2 on Drury. Pretty night in downtown Phoenix. Arizona just split a 4-game set with the Cardinals. They won yesterday 3-0. And this one's popped up and playable right side. DJ calling for it. That'll bring up Chris Owings. It'll also take us to our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. They're brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. National League road ERAs. Well, we saw Ken Maeda. He's been outstanding. Steven Strasburg, a minuscule road ERA. And there's Tyler Chatwood. And with Syndergaard's there also. Some big names that Tyler Chatwood is among in road ERA in the month of April.
Maeda took the loss the other day against the Marlins, but he was going up against Fernandez.
Marlins swept the Dodgers. And then they got the news we've been talking about. Well, it's not as if, because he found out in February, it's not as if Don Mattingly and the Marlins organization was not aware that that was the likelihood.
But then finally yesterday, the appeal process, everything, it's just, okay, I'm going to start serving tomorrow.
Runner going, and Nick's throw on the bag, out at second base. Beautiful throw by Nick Hundley to cut down Yasmani Tomas. He had to go down and get a pitch that was very low. Terrific pop time there from Hundley, right on the bag. That'll end the inning. We'll go to the third. No score in the desert. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Bank of the West. For a personal approach to banking, go West, Bank of the West. By your hometown Toyota stores, Toyota, let's go places. By American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Robbie Ray set to go, top of the third. Fastball on the outer third of the plate. A strike on Tyler Chatwood. Chatwood's 1 for 7 so far this year at the plate. Charlie Blackmon back healthy. He's in the on-deck circle, and that's off the plate. 1-1. Paul Emmel, we mentioned, is calling balls and strikes. He is the crew chief. Toby Bassner at first. Jordan Baker at second. A couple of younger umpires. Tim Timmons at third. Bale and Whale. Chatwood misses there. 1-2.
Never heard that phrase in a while.
Well, when it applies, right?
Yes.
That is strikeout number 3 in the ball game for Robbie Ray. Reached the big leagues with the Detroit Tigers, originally drafted by the Nationals. He's been involved in a couple of significant trades. He was part of the Doug Fister trade that brought Fister to Washington. Then he went to Detroit. And then he was part of the Didi Gregorius three-way deal that moved Robbie Ray from Detroit to the desert. And that fastball misses in.
Those 3-team trades are always kind of interesting how they evolve, and you would think, well, which team do you call first, or who calls who? You know, you're sitting there going, well, Drew, I've got this guy, and Drew said, well, Doug, I've got this guy, and then Doug calls me. Is that how it works? And we just figured out.
That's rifled to left field, a base hit for Blackmon. So welcome back, Charlie. He's 1 for 2, and he's now 6 for 10 against Robbie Ray. Here's our Mako big hit. Let's go back to Wednesday. Rockies found themselves in a 7-0 deficit. Look at this ball. Trevor Story over the center field wall. Just reached down and poked it out. He's got large power. That's our Mako big hit. 9th home run for Story. And then Arenado a little while later said, "Hey, kid, not so fast."
Which is different because Trevor's was a slider, and then Nolan hit the fastball.
There's a Rocky that set a record for most home runs by a rookie ever against Arizona. Not just a Rockies rookie, but any rookie against Arizona in a single season. It was tied by Jock Peterson last year. Jock hit 5 home runs against the Diamondbacks in his rookie campaign. You will never guess who the Rockies rookie was who hit 5 home runs. And the reason I'm saying that, I'll give you one guess.
Okay.
It's not a guy you would generally associate with hitting home runs.
Okay, let me think.
I'm going to give you another hint in a second. You want to know?
Infielder.
He's an infielder. He's an infielder who in his career always was the guy in a blowout who got called upon to pitch. And he only hit 19 career home runs. That's a strike. 0-2. Story bounced one up the middle on a 1-2 pitch his first time up, so he's going to have to battle from behind once again.
Boy. Luis Ortiz.
Jose Ortiz.
I mean, Jose Ortiz.
Now remember, he had 3 in a game.
Right.
Once.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
not a bad guess. No, it's not Jose Ortiz. This guy had a long big league career. Good player, scrappy player. From Northern California, Antio. Doug, were you whispering to him now? Stay in your corner. What are you doing? He's going behind my back, and he's like giving you smoke signals.
Well, he kind of whispered to me, so
he cheated.
Yeah, well,
Dougie's no better right now than D. Gordon.
Oh wow, that was low. He's
leaving. He's threw the headset down. He's done.
Miles.
Aaron Miles.
Aaron Miles.
I mean, would you ever thought of that?
No, not at all.
Doug's the one who gave me the question, so he felt
obligated
to give you the answer.
Aaron Miles.
From Antioch, California. He had a really nice career. Went to the Cardinals, but you remember he would always be the guy. Cardinals get blown out. Tony La Russa would always put him on the mound.
Bring in Miles. Here we go.
One and two on Story. Blackmon at first. And the reason, Doug handed me that particular note is that Story has 4 home runs against Arizona, as we know, all in that first series. Willeen Rosario hit 4 home runs his rookie year against the Diamondbacks. Two and two. And now it's a 3-2 count. So Story's worked himself back into the count.
How about this? I know Trevor has struck out some, but look at the number of pitches he sees per plate appearance compared to the league average. 4.46 at 3.89.
Charlie takes off and it's fouled off. I didn't know if Charlie would go there with the left-hander Ray.
And Ray has a sneaky move.
Not only that, we know Story strikes out quite a bit. And Charlie wanted to make sure he committed to the plate. He didn't in that particular pitch get what you would call a great jump.
And this is where after a foul ball, a guy take off. I'd say about 50% of the time you'll see that pitcher then throw over this before he throws the next pitch home, just to see if he takes off again.
He goes again, and again it's fouled off.
Last year, Robbie Ray had an interesting number as far as the number of foul balls that he had whenever he was on the hill per start. It was right around 21, 22 foul balls.
That's a lot. And one of the things it tells you, and he's got a big arm. He's a mid-90s guy. But if, Huey, I know you look at this.
Yes.
If you see guys consistently getting their A swing off against a guy with a plus-plus fastball, you're saying, well, there can't be a lot of deception. They're seeing it well.
Yeah, or it's straight or something they're picking up.
And again, it's fouled off.
Those are 3 quality swings. Even the last one at 95 miles an hour from Trevor.
Well, Walt was telling us the other day, the same thing. Rather than just looking at the pitcher, look at how the hitter is reacting to the pitcher, and it'll tell you the effectiveness of the pitcher.
And sometimes that's what pitchers or managers will do to a pitcher when they're deciding whether to take him out of the game, is what kind of swings are these guys starting to have off of the pitcher. The old eyeball test.
Well, next pitch, you're talking about how many pitches he's seeing. He's going to see 10 at least in this at bat. 1 out, Blackman at first, no score, top of 3. And that's inside. What a terrific AB for Trevor Story. And now you have 2 on for Nolan. And this is what's gotten Ray into some hot water in the past. He's now walked 15 batters in 23+ innings.
That's what got him in trouble in his last start. He struggled with his command.
Trevor Story at first, the averages, moved down to 241 beginning play today. He's 1 for 1 and a walk. But if you want evidence that he's okay, take those 2 at bats. Got a base hit behind in the count, and then he battles and earns a walk in a double-digit pitch encounter with Robbie Ray. It's 1-0. And Wellington Castillo runs out to the mound. Paul Goldschmidt joins him.
This is part of the reason, this number I'm about to give you, why the Rockies didn't fare well on that last homestand. In that series against Pittsburgh with runners in scoring position, they were just 6 for 35.
That's not going to win you a lot of games.
Yeah, 171 average. Break out of it right now. Right man at the plate to do it.
Get an early lead. One ball, one strike.
You know what, Drew? Just looking, that's a different bat for Nolan than the one he had the first at bat.
Didn't sound right.
It didn't. The two-tone model.
It's either a BP bat now or a souvenir.
It's probably a souvenir. You don't even take ones that don't sound right in batting practice. You want to have confidence. You're not going to go take batting practice. You know, these guys get these bats for free. They don't have to go down to the sporting goods store to buy their own.
The Tulo famously did in a slump in San Francisco. Bought a Derek Jeter model for $25.
That's a different, yeah, that's desperate times.
It's one of my all-time favorite stories. And he had a home run his third at bat. And we're looking at that the bat the first two times. I said, there's no way that thing's going to blow up in a game. And he was 0 for 2 with that at bat and went back to one of his normal stash of bats and hit the home run. That's out of play. The Rockies and the Rays, we're talking about similarities here in the month of April for these two clubs. The Rays are, excuse me, the Diamondbacks are 12-12. How'd I get the Rays in there?
Well, because Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray, thank you. And Colorado is 9-12. Rockies good offense. The Diamondbacks good offense. Defenses have been similar. You look at Matt Williams. Pitching has struggled. And there's a strikeout. Here's another similarity. The Diamondbacks have struggled at home. The Rockies now are 4-8 at home. Both of these teams have played better out on the road.
Arizona 7-3 out on the road. Rockies 5-4.
They're 5-9 for Chip Hale at home. 4 games under 500. 2 outs, and Mark Reynolds will try to drive in the Rockies' first run. Got an interesting story that has developed in Milwaukee tonight. I'll tell you about it in a moment. I'll tell you about it now as Mark Reynolds steps out. Marlins rookie Adam Conley went 7 2/3 of no-hit baseball against Milwaukee and then was removed. Didn't give up a hit. He was removed after 116 pitches. No swing. The no-hitter is still intact. There it is. But Conley will not finish it. And we saw something earlier this year with the Dodgers and Ross Stripling, and Dave Roberts went and got the baseball from him.
What'd you say, 116 pitches?
116.
Yeah, that's. You can see why he did that at 7 2/3. Stripling was coming off a Tommy John surgery the year before. Another interesting fact from that game, and the Brewers also turned to triple play.
How about that? 3-0 on Reynolds, taking 3-1. Arena's now in for the Marlins. Three and 2. They're up 5-0. Justin Bour's driven in all of the runs for the Marlins in that game. Got a couple homers. Rockies and Diamondbacks scoreless, top of 3. Blackman's at second. He singled. Story earned a walk. He's at first base. 2 outs and now a 3-2 pitch to Reynolds with the runners moving. Reynolds struck out on an inside fastball his first time. And a strikeout on a slider down and in this time. 5 strikeouts for Ray. He works out of a situation there. Middle of 3, no score. The bottom of the third, 8-9-1 for the Diamondbacks. Here's our office liquidators and series storylines. Charlie Blackmon returns after missing 13 games with the turf toe. Trevor Story back where his career began just a couple of weeks ago in historic fashion. And Zach Greinke tomorrow, Shelby Miller on Sunday. Normally you'd be quaking in your boots, but neither one of those guys are throwing the ball very well. I mean, Greinke has an ERA over 6. Here's the 1-0 on Chris Owings. Slider is outside, 2-0.
Shelby Miller, 8.69.
Crazy, huh?
Yes, it is.
And this is playable potentially near the stands. Great effort and popped out of the glove of Gerardo Parra. He knows this ballpark well.
It doesn't matter if it's left field, right field. The way the field is configured, it's the same on both sides. And Gerardo sliding, looked like it went off his thumb. You can see the disappointment. Tough play. When you run that far and then just have it pop out of your glove, it's like, oh man, how did that happen?
So Owings gets a new life, 2 balls and a strike on the former PCL MVP back in 2013 for the Reno Aces. Reno and Albuquerque were playing last night. Is that the end of a series or the beginning of the series? This ball's well hit to center field. Blackmon going back, and he's going to have to, well, he can't play. It's going to be a ground rule double.
Gave Chris Owings an extra opportunity, and he took advantage. Wanted it down and away, but that is not where Tyler wanted it. That was center cut right at the belt. Short hop the wall out over the fence.
One and 0 on Robbie Ray, trying to move along Chris Owings, the leadoff double. That was game 1 of that series between Albuquerque and Reno. That's a fair ball, and
it's great base running.
it wasn't a fair ball.
Oh, okay.
Foul ball.
I was going to say, because that was great base running by Chris Owings if he didn't foul that off as quickly as he got there. And be sure to catch the best fireworks shows in town this summer on Friday, July 8th and Saturday, July 9th, following the game against the Philadelphia Phillies.
Two and one. Ray stabs at that. Pulled that back. So it remains 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mark's still creeping in at first. He thinks even if he does pull it back and swing it, he'll try to hit it the other way. Can't pull the fastball.
It's a huge situation, and then if you can prevent him from moving the runner along, reduces the percentage considerably, and they have a chance. Chatwood to third, out at third base. Tyler hung in there, and on the second attempt picked it up and got it to Arenado. That's huge.
Well, that just shows you the shortstop coming out again in Tyler Chatwood. That's what he played in high school, and he reacted that way on the hill. A little slug bunt. Knocks it down, doesn't panic, picks it up and makes it on the mark throw to Nolan at third base. Oh, he tried to slide out and around. Yep, got him on the hip. Huge out to get that lead runner, and then you also have now the pitcher running instead of Chris Owings.
Strike one on Gene Segura. What a start for Segura. 36 hits through 24 games, the most in Arizona franchise history.
And all the splash this winter was on the signing of Zach Greinke and the trade for Shelby Miller. And this was kind of the unsung one, where they get Gene Segura to hit leadoff for us and maybe play some short and some second. But now to have 36 hits to lead the National League over Sterling Marte by 6.
Good block by Hundley. Diaz for St. Louis. Aledmys Diaz has had a fabulous start. He's leading the league in hitting. We just saw Josh Harrison and Starling Marte.
The only other Diamondback to lead the National League in hitting, 1999, Luis Gonzalez with 206.
Segura will do that too. He'll take a big hack. He'll hit some home runs. He's got 4 this year. He hit 2 in a game. One
was inside the park.
Yeah, one he got to jog, and the other one he had to sprint.
So do they equal out? As I mean, the one he had to sprint all the way, the other one's just kind of a trot.
The ones with the trot are more fun. And this is a high pop up to shallow center. Blackman arrives in time. 2 outs. That'll bring up Jake Lamb, the third baseman. He hit a fly ball to Charlie his first time up.
Third baseman, Jake
So the Rockies have lost 5 straight, Huey, as we know, and desperately in need of a victory, several. And they're 3 games under 500, yet the division's so tight right now. The Rockies are just 2 games behind the Giants and Dodgers, who started the game tied atop the division at 12 and 11.
And you know the Giants have already lost. She mentioned to the Mets 13-1.
Mets are the hottest team in baseball right now, or one of them. They've won 10 out of 11. Lamb fouls it off. Jake, a native of Seattle. Went to UW up there.
You mean University of Washington?
I'm sorry, I don't want to confuse that with the University of Wyoming.
Okay,
You're
thank you.
absolutely
That's why
correct.
when you said UW, I was just thinking Cowboys.
I understand. And the University of Washington product swings and misses there, 1 and 2.
Very sly, thank you. Well, this is a guy you want. You don't want Goldie to come up with runners on.
Yeah, let him lead off next inning.
It's always a good thing when he's leading off an inning.
Have a typical Chatwood outing. He's not going to strike out a ton of hitters. Ball's going to be in play, but a lot of mishit balls. 1-2. Good frame by Hundley, but it was off the plate. 2-2 on Lamb. Jake was a 6th round pick out of the University of Washington. Speaking of later round picks, so is, Paul Goldschmidt.
Right.
Find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, and much more at abqisotopes.com. Albuquerque Isotopes, proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Glen Allen Hill has the Topes over 500. 2-2, swung on, foul tip and held by Nick Hundley, and there's strikeout number 1 as Chatwood fans Lamb, and that ends the inning. Despite the leadoff double by Chris Owings, no damage done. We'll go to the 4th.
leaves and everybody back home is bundled up. But as my wife used to say, it seems to always happen when you go out of town that we get snowstorms.
I did check with my wife on the weather today back home, and there's one thing that's guaranteed. I heard the story when we were at the airport. This woman, oh boy, hold on a second. Ryan Rayburn just leaned on a Robbie Ray delivery, and he hits it 20+ rows deep, 1-0 Colorado. 4th home run for Rayburn.
And you can also knock off Robbie Ray as one of only 5 National League starters not to allow a home run. Now there's only 4.
Yeah, that's over with.
Talk about jumping on a pitch. He just leaned on this, back-legged it, had some nice elevation. Question was, how far was it going to travel?
Courtesy jog out there for Yasmani Tomas to look at it.
More than Marte did the other day.
Marte never turned around twice. Here's Parra. So this woman had just moved here from California, and she had to go in and borrow a scraper where we depart from at DIA, because she thought when it hit April, she didn't need the scraper anymore. That's about when you really need it. You know, there's 2 or 3 more good snowstorms from April to about May 26th.
She'll learn.
This is in the air to Tomas in that left field corner. He's got some room, and in foul ground, he makes the catch. Rockies have their first lead since last Tuesday.
Let's go back to the Subaru Supermo on this swing. Just like everything's connected. The way the hips had started the swing, you got a stiff front leg, and that helps that torque with the bat coming through, the head following down the barrel path, and then just the look and finish of that swing from Ryan Rayburn.
A beautiful thing. Here's Nick Hundley. Let me correct that. It's not their first lead. It's the first time they've scored first since last Tuesday.
Right.
They had the lead on Sunday.
Well, and another first too is the last home run allowed by Robbie Ray.
This ball's well hit to the left field corner, and it is gone. Stayed on a line, and Nick Hundley has his 2nd bomb of the year.
Well, I didn't even get a chance to say the last guy before Ryan Rayburn to hit a home run was Carlos Gonzalez 29 innings ago last September 29th, and now they go back-to-back.
Boy, that was Cargo-esque.
Well,
that was just a line drive that stayed hit. Good swing by Nick Hundley.
Wasn't exactly back-to-back because you had the fly out by Gerardo, but it was still impressive. That was a cut fastball. Maybe a slider at 84 miles an hour. Nick was hitting some bombs in batting practice today, too. And it carried over to this swing.
9th career home run for Nick. Look out. Against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2nd most he has against any club. He's hit 13 against the Giants.
Asked him how his little girl was doing today. She's about a month old. She said, oh, finally slept a little bit for his wife.
Yeah, that's there in the middle of this sleep deprivation period.
Yes, he is a copycat.
And we love it. Rockies up 2-0. 2 solo home runs here in the 4th inning. Ryan Rayburn and Nick Hundley. And DJ, sharp ground ball, but it's at Goldschmidt. 2 outs.
Pitcher, Tyler Chatwood.
If the Rockies score 7 runs tonight or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. So Chatwood struck out his first time. It's one way to take the wrapper off the gum, Gerardo.
Whatever's easiest.
But you see Tony Walters there.
Yeah.
For the conversation we had with Cargo today.
Yes.
Unsolicited, Cargo came up to us and he said, "I love that kid." He said he's a gamer.
Gamer. I mean, that's the exact words, gamer.
Bunt attempt, and Ray just did get Tyler Chatwood. Good attempt by Chatwood. Rockies have given Chatwood a 2-0 lead. Ryan Rayburn deep into the left field seats, and then a line shot off the bat of Nick Hundley. And the Rockies up 2-0 against Arizona on the road.
We go bottom 4. Tyler Chatwood has pitched well thus far here in Arizona. In fact, this season he has pitched well on the road in his 2 starts. His ERA coming to this game on the road was 0.68. It's gone down because he won here in Arizona, and then he had a great outing at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. I want to show you something interesting. If he can go 6 and allow 2 runs or less in this game, he'll be the first Rockies starter since Juan Nicasio back in 2012 to have 3 straight road starts at the end of the year to do that. So you're talking about 4 years. Nicasio pitched today for the Pirates and won in Pittsburgh. So Drew and Jeff, let's hope Chatwood keeps his thing going on the hill here tonight in Arizona.
Well, the Rockies were so looking forward to getting him back. We've talked about how nasty the stuff is when he's healthy. The whole key for him is to stay healthy. But Tyler Chatwood, a great competitor, and he has taken the baseball and done a really fine job here early in the 2016 season. He's going to face the middle part of the Arizona lineup here in the 4th. Goldschmidt, whom he walked his first time, and then David Peralta and Yasmani Tomas. Tomas has one of the 2 hits tonight that he is allowed. 2-0 Colorado on the home runs by Rayburn and Hundley. Fastballs off the plate, ball 1. Goldschmidt twice has been the runner-up in the MVP voting, including last year. He's reached base against the Rockies in 39 consecutive games. It's not the record against Colorado. It's just 5th. Ooh, movement on that pitch. I mean, when you throw a 2-0 fastball, that's a 2-seamer.
Ties somebody up.
And remember, we were talking about swings. That was for a great hitter. That was an ugly swing. There's the group. Mike Piazza, 48 straight games.
Al Martin,
former Pirate.
left-handed hitting outfield. Ryan Klesko.
Bonds, I suppose you're not surprised, is on that list. 3-1 on Goldschmidt. And he walked him again.
Right fielder.
Bring up Peralta.
Jan Peralta last at bat. in the first inning with a fastball up and in. Still have the shift on.
Peralta a year ago, 312, 17 home runs, 78 driven in.
He, along with Paul Goldschmidt, are two of the leaders of this Diamondbacks ball club.
Well, they lost the other guy in A.J. Pollock with the broken elbow. Chatwood gets a high rate of ground balls. Typically, though in this game, he's only had one.
And it was to this guy, Peralta.
One and one. Well, Milwaukee's broken up that combined no-hitter, and it was Jonathan Lucroy who did it. Well, that's another example. That's a 1-1 count, and that looked like a protective hack where you're behind 0-2.
And even the 1-0 count, he got inside on him.
Oh, they break it up. They scored some runs.
6-3 now.
One, two, ground ball through the empty left side. Nolan's the only guy who is over there, and it's first and second, nobody out for Tomas. Pitch run out there.
I think it did. They wanted it inside. You see where Nick, yeah, it did. I mean, that missed location by a foot. And that's the thing, when you put the shift on and you're saying, well, we're going to pitch inside, and then you throw it away, he's going to hit it that way, and it beats the shift every time. It's the pitcher has to hit a spot, and Tyler didn't on that pitch.
Well, Yasmani Tomas, get a ground ball, would be a great candidate for a double play. 250-pound young man in his sophomore major league season. Outside. A 12-game hitting streak snapped a couple days ago against the Cardinals. The 12-game hitting streak, the longest of his career. Starting to hit some home runs. They thought he would hit a bunch last year. That inside-out swing didn't hit many. He's got 5 here in April. And Chatwood looks off in disgust, 2-0.
Just tried to throw that one too hard. Came out of his delivery. Just yanked the ball across the zone.
Ground ball right at the bag. DJ on the first, double play. Exactly what you needed. Goldschmidt to third with 2 outs.
Just glad Tyler didn't jump up or think that he might have a play on this. He let it go because he knew where DJ was positioned. Right over the head of Tyler. Yeah, see, he didn't even go for it.
You could see in his the body movement was, should I jump? And then he realized,
no.
That's why one of the 6 million reasons I love the game of baseball so much. It's such a cerebral game. You have to be aware of where your defense is positioned, and that's why, you know, Tyler did. And instead of jumping up and, you know, have it tip off your glove, or even if he comes down with it, not saying they couldn't have turned 2, but it's not as easy.
Well, if you remember back the very first game here, Tyler gave up 2 runs. Only one of them was earned because he had a ball back to him that he threw wildly to second base on a double play ball.
Yeah, it was his error.
Yes. Not to say that would have happened here, but it can.
And Nick's got something in his eye. You know what? When you get to the big leagues, now you don't even have to get to the big leagues anymore. But you see, Nick's got his name right across his chest protector. So if anybody ever takes it, he says, "Wait a second,
that's mine."
That's mine. It says Hundley on it. You're wearing my chest protector."
Well, the guys have it now on their spikes. They have it on their batting gloves.
Right. Hey, those are my shoes.
Those are my shoes. Don't take them.
Well, you know, I'm going to start doing that with you because every once in a while you borrow some of my things, and I have no problem lending it to you, but those are my dress shoes. I'm going to say DG on the heel.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
0-1 on Wellington Castillo. Good fastball. That's a great example, Huey, of late movement, man. And
we talk about the whiff percentage for Tyler earlier in the game. It's higher now with the high fastball, and that's where this one was. Might have been a little bit of a mistake. Might even wanted to go higher than that, but still had late life to get by Castillo.
I love that he went right after him again with virtually the same pitch. So here's one of the problems, though. It's just brought to my attention. You know, if Nick's hanging out with, say, Randy and Todd Hundley sometime, they may stake a claim to it.
Former catchers themselves.
Yes, father and son. Strike 3 on the pitch. What a job by Chatwood. 2 on, nobody out. Gets a double play ground ball and strikes out the dangerous and hot Wellington Castillo. 2-0 Rockies as we go to the 5th. Top of the order next.
The Rockies up 2-0. Charlie Blackmon is going to lead off. Chuck Nasty's a funny guy, talking to him today about coming back off of the turf toe injury, and in only the way Charlie can say, he told us how his rehab went.
Played baseball games, which included hitting, running, playing defense, infield, ground balls, running down the line hard, diving back to the bag, on base, all those baseball-related activities.
Throwing?
I threw the ball.
He said he stood a lot in the dugout, too, just so you know, guys. He's got new cleats on. That's one of the ways he's going to keep the turf toe, kind of manage it. You know, he does a lot of exercises. You've seen him with the foam roller and stuff, but the new cleats, he said he's going to wear those tonight and kind of do that as the season goes on, just to manage that thing, because he's had it before.
Does he have his name on the cleats?
Not that I saw today in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
Not like
we're looking at him right now. This ball rifled to right. So welcome back, Charlie. He's 2 for 3. Do you remember the comedian? He's still working, Stephen Wright?
Yes.
Deadpans everything. That's Charlie Blackmon.
Right. He deadpanned that interview with Mark. But
yes, I threw the ball.
There's no joking about that swing. It's classic and it's beautiful.
Yeah, he eats up Robbie Ray. 7 for 11. It's a convenient little line there for Charlie Blackmon. Ray's approaching 80 pitches. He works in the top of the 5th. This ball hammered deep left. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. They hadn't seen Trevor in a couple of weeks. He's writing a new chapter to his story, isn't he? Number 10, tying the rookie record.
And half of those now against the Diamondbacks. That's pretty much the same area that he hit the second one out on opening day against Zach Greinke. Boy, he knew it too as soon as he hit it. The story keeps growing.
How about that? 3 home runs for the Rockies. It's 4-0.
They had 10 home runs in that 3-game series here that opening weekend.
Outside 2-0 on Nolan.
So in 4 games at Chase Field so far, they've hit 13 home runs. In 12 games at Coors Field, 17.
The thing about Story's home runs, I don't care where they're hit, they're gone. So he's tied Jose Abreu for the rookie record for home runs in April. Abreu with the White Sox 2 years ago produced that. And you know, Trevor's going to have probably a couple more ABs tonight. Game tomorrow. And he seems to like hitting here, just by observation.
I mean, you're just going out on a limb there and saying he likes it.
Yep. Nolan fouls it off, 3-2. How about Nolan last week? Had a 3-walk game. First time in his career. I know a lot of folks at home are saying Trevor lost 3 home runs with the new fence at Coors Field. That's foul.
Back to the swing of Trevor Story on the Subaru Supermo. Front foot gets down in the ground. Look at the hands in the launch position. And then he knows how he has to get his hands up a little bit higher because that pitch was up to take it out. I just like the separation between where the foot lands and where the hands are in the launch position. It's like the rubber band, you have to pull back before you let it go.
Three-two again, and that's fouled off.
Another foul ball from Robbie Ray. It's like the demeanor of Trevor. No matter, I mean, you can't really tell. It doesn't. Really hard to see. Oh yeah, he just hit a 10th home run this year.
And this one has a chance to get out. In fact, it will easily. Another bob from the Rockies. Robbie Ray had not allowed a home run coming into tonight. He's given up 4 in the space of 2 innings. 5-0 Colorado.
Nolan says, hey, wait a second. I don't want to be late to the party. I want to have double digits.
You're not going to get too far out in front of me, young man.
And that is back-to-back home runs. Fouled off a few pitches and then takes the slider, and he knows he has it. Is it going to be able to stay fair. Yep. 4 home runs tonight for the Rockies.
And that will chase Robbie Ray. Colorado up 5-0. Huntley's got one. Arenado, Story, and Ryan Rayburn. 2 through 5 in the batting order for Walt Weiss tonight.
Well, I especially like the one where he has twice as many home runs as the Atlanta Braves. That's being astute because the Braves have not hit the long ball very often. Freddie Freeman's the only guy that has multiple home runs.
Mark Reynolds swings and misses 1-1 against Jake Barrett. So Story's got 5 home runs here, and the Braves have 5 home runs on the season. They went 15 games without a home run. That's one of the more incredible stats I've read in a while. 1-2. Jake Barrett was called back to the big leagues 24 hours ago.
Well, he was one of the casualties of that bullpen where they played so many innings and gone through quite a few guys that he was sent out. 7 innings, 4 walks, or 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. Hard thrower, 94 to 97 miles an hour. 2-pitch pitcher, also mix in a slider. Down in Reno through 2 2/3 scoreless for the Aces.
A roller to Segura. And that's the first out recorded by Arizona in the 5th. That'll bring up Ryan Rayburn, a walk, and he got the Rockies on the board with a home run to deep left last inning.
We got this party started back in the 4th inning with the first home run this year off of Robbie Ray.
Good location with that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike 1.
Jake Barrett, a local product to Desert Ridge High School, Mesa, just down the road, and then ASU.
Looks
Cargo,
inviting.
well, Cargo hit one last time in the pool.
Got there in about 0.4 of a second.
It was like, and then once it hit, it was like skipping a rock out on the lake because it came in at such a low trajectory.
It's the lowest trajectory home run. At least it was first couple of weeks of the season. I haven't checked lately. I bet you it's still the lowest trajectory home run this year. Like at 14%.
Ouch.
Wow.
Foul ball though.
Did you ever do that, Huey?
No.
You get your hand pinched on the knob?
No, but it's, talking to guys and listening to them says it's one of those feelings that hurts so much, but you can't do anything. You can't shake it out, but it hits off the knob and pinches the bottom hand.
The good thing, if you look there, he does not overlap the knob like so many hitters do. I mean, it's still,
if he does,
still got.
Then you have a chance to break that finger. Julio Franco is the prime example. Cargo does it a little bit, but Julio had 2 fingers off the knob. And if that would have been the case, it would have been broken fingers.
I can't imagine the vibration.
And that's what he's going through right now, is just the vibration and that stinging feeling you have in your pinky.
Did you use one of the thumb guards?
No, I didn't. Some guys use it. I think it's about half and half, whether guys use it or not.
2-2. And a strikeout of Rayburn. 2 outs. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra. Rockies trying to end that 5-game slide.
Gerardo Parra.
Parra playing in right field tonight for his good buddy Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo is a scheduled day off for, what did Walt tell us today? Probably about a week. He's kind of eyeballed this ball game to give Cargo his first rest of the year. And it worked out well, Huey, in that the Rockies are postponed yesterday, so Cargo gets 48 hours off his feet. You know, you go back to your Texas days, you were playing every day down in Texas, and the heat there. That 48 hours is huge.
It's like a week. I mean, in regular time, you're just able to clear your mind, but more importantly, rest the body. You'll still go out and do your baseball activities, but for Cargo, especially that last homestand, how much running he had to do, crashing into the stands, sliding, hitting, all of that, just gives your body a break.
How important is it also the mental break? Not that Cargo may not be called upon to pinch hit late tonight. Hopefully it's not needed as Parra fouls this off. But just the mental break a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure which one's more important, the physical or the mental, because this game is taxing. You go and grind at bats. The losses, I mean, all of that wears. And so for Cargo, especially after knowing you had yesterday with the postponement, you know you had today off too.
And it was a strange one in that, because the weather report was so bad, and as it turned out, who knows, maybe the game could have been played, but the weather report was so poor, the game was called early, so it wasn't as if, okay, we're running out there, you
never really got into game mode.
You never got into game mode. Team flight left earlier than it would have. Oh, they ring him up at third base. Tim Timmons says Parra went around. In the inning, the Rockies got a lead single from Charlie Blackmon, and then they played Pepper with the seats again. Trevor Story. Boy, does he love Chase Field. 5 of his 10 home runs have come here, and then Nolan followed it up. Good stuff, Jenny. Thank you. 2 strikes quickly as Tyler Chatwood is working Brandon Drury. Got him to pop out his first time, and he just struck him out on 3 pitches. So Chatwood with a 5-run lead going right after Drury. 1 out in the 5th inning. Chris Owings, batting 8th tonight, will come to the plate.
All 3 pitches, he put these in the spot that he wanted to. Drury late on the swing, but Nick, knowing that he can slide off the plate an inch or 2, he does that. Chatty hits his spot. 71 pitches for Tyler, 41 of them for strikes.
Owings has the hardest hit ball tonight for Arizona. He had a double to center field over the head of Charlie Blackmon, a little bit toward right center field. Two and out. Chatwood has struck out 3, walked 2. Walked the same guy twice. Guy walks more than anybody else in the National League, Paul Goldschmidt. See if he can come all the way back here.
You don't want to walk the 8th place hitter. Phil Gosselin has come to the on-deck circle for the Diamondbacks.
This ball's well hit also, and this will probably be a double.
At least he had to earn it. Just fell behind 3-0 and then came back and hit his 2nd double tonight. Hey, the Colorado Rockies home run for the homeless 5K is Sunday, May 8th. Go to Rockies.com/5K to register today. The home run for the homeless.
So it will be the versatile Phil Gosselin. Randall Delgado is throwing in the Arizona pen, former starter. And line drive, double play. Gotta love it. Trevor Story's right there. He grabbed it, ran to the bag. Owings could do nothing about it. That's all for Arizona in the 5th inning as Tyler Chatwood comes off the mound. 5-0 Colorado. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Jack in the Box, taste the Jumbo-licious Jumbo meal before it's gone, only at Jack in the Box. And by the Lodge Casino, pitching up a perfect game for cash every Friday and Saturday. Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. Rockies having fun in the desert. They had a good time when they opened the season down here, winning 2 out of 3. One opening day 10-5 over Zach Greinke and the D-backs. They're up 5-0 as we go to the 6th with Jeff Houston and Mark Stout. I'm Drew Goodman. Randall Delgado's now in the ball game. Designated long man for Chip Hale.
Yeah, those 15 innings, that's second in the National League. Also tied with second in appearances with 12.
League's hitting .311 against Delgado. He had a good year last year. .325 ERA, won 8 ball games, and participated in 64 games. Even had a save last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick hit a line shot home run his last time up. 2nd of the year.
In the 4th inning, Nick on the line hits his ball out in about 2.5 seconds.
Randall Delgado was part of that enormous trade between Arizona and Atlanta in 2013 that involved Martin Prado, Nick Ahmed, Brandon Drury, and Justin Upton, and Chris Johnson went from Arizona to Atlanta. 2-2, 3-2. But Delgado at the time was one of the important pieces of that deal. He was a starting pitcher, and his first year in Arizona he started 19 games, 19 out of the 20 appearances. They slowly have converted him last couple of years to a reliever. That's on the ground to Goldschmidt, 1 out. Got to bring up DJ, a line drive to center and a hard ground ball to Goldschmidt. DJ, if you recall, that first series of the year, DJ turned on a couple of pitches and hit him downtown to left.
Part of the 10 that they'd hit, and all of those were no doubter home runs. I mean, DJ had a couple fastballs inside, opened the hips, and just jumped on those pitches.
On DJ. That's inside. Not comfortable. 2-0.
There's a time to turn on one. Might be now. 2-0 count.
Cheat a little bit, huh?
Cheat. Don't get. Yeah, he didn't even come in.
Didn't comply.
Nope.
3-0 with Chatwood on deck. DJ 6 for 12 against Arizona pitching so far this year. Ground ball up the middle. Segura just stole a hit from LeMahieu. That's a great play by Gene Segura.
Gene played a number of innings at shortstop for Milwaukee, but then he comes over here. They ask him to play some second base because of Nick Ahmed, but now he's going back to his comfortable position. He times that dive perfectly to come up and be able to make the play. See how he dives at the right time, and when you do that, the ball goes right into the webbing, just like you want it to, so then you can grab it and make the throw. One more look at that. This is only the 2nd start of the year at shortstop for Segura, but his 467th of his career. See how the ball goes right into his webbing on the Subaru Supermo?
it's the place he prefers playing. Now he's going to get this one. And he throws out Chatwood by a couple of steps. Good inning for Gene Segura, thus a good inning for Randall Delgado. But it's been a good game for the Rockies. They're up 5-0, middle of 6 in the desert. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Just off Jefferson Street in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Chase Field, the home of the Diamondbacks since they came to be in 1998. Rockies have not had a lot of success here, but this year, so far, so good. They've won 2 of 3, and here in the 4th game between these two clubs this year, they're up 5-0. Tyler Chatwood has pitched well, but he's been a little overshadowed by the 4 home runs the Rockies have hit.
So that doesn't matter. I'll take it because he hasn't had much run support in his starts. Just 2.25 runs per game. Tonight, they threw up a 5 spot, and they're not done yet. And Nolan with the home run. Saw Trevor with the home run. Rayburn, Nick Hundley.
Top of the order for Arizona, Gene Segura, Jake Lamb, Paul Goldschmidt. A couple fly ball outs and the first curveball that I can recall tonight. Was there one other one?
There was one other one. He threw into Chris Owings the last inning to lead him off. But it wasn't a strike. That's the first one that's been for a strike. Ow.
That ball came up and hit him. May have hit him right in the face.
Let's get him in the cheek.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. I've seen that happen where guys will bunt the baseball and then it will hit him in the face. Looks even worse on the Subaru Supermo.
Oh, 2 stayed off that 1-2. Huey, check this out. The Rockies have hit 14 home runs at Chase Field in 3.5 games. Tell you a little something else about that. Dougie did some research here. Arizona's hit 24 home runs at Chase Field. I mean, and that's a huge amount. It's their home ballpark. The Rockies have hit 17 at Coors Field. Milwaukee's has hit 16 at Miller Park, their home park. That's it for teams that have hit more home runs in their own yard than the Rockies have hit in a place they've been 3.5 games.
That's great work by Dougie to look that up and come up with those numbers.
And that's bounce foul. And he lost him. Chatwood was ahead 0-2 on Segura. He ends up losing him. Third walk.
Well, the reason you have not seen many breaking pitches from Tyler because he's been throwing a lot of fastballs.
That's
tonight.
his MO.
Yeah. But even a higher number tonight. 94% of the pitches have been fastballs.
And coming in, he was 75%. He's got such great movement with the fastball. And it's not necessarily swing and miss movement, but he keeps guys off the barrel. It's miss-hit balls. Lamb, fly ball to center field and a strikeout. Goldschmidt on deck. Rockies position Story right up the middle for Jake Lamb. And that's what I mean. You see that swing there and very little baseball.
This tells you that fastball command is still the #1 thing for any pitcher. You have to be able to do that. I mean, Bartolo Colon, as he's like 83, 84% of the time he throws a fastball, and he's throwing it at 88, 89 miles an hour. Maeda, we saw it the other day. Not overpowering, but he knows how to pitch. He uses both sides of the plate, up and down, in and out.
We saw when things got sticky the other day for Garrett Cole of the Pirates. It was all fastballs. Yeah. Now he's got a big arm. I mean, he's 95, 96, 97, but it was all fastballs. He's moving it around the zone with great effectiveness. In the air, left center field. Blackman has a beat.
The Rockies Make an Impact program is a free elementary school assembly that entertains students and shows them how to make an impact on their lives and communities. Call 303 Rockies for more information on how to get your school involved.
Here you go. You want some ice cream? Psych.
Well, see, that's what you do after you eat the ice cream out of the hat. You put the baseball in there.
He's trying to sell it to other people, I thought. Look at this. Kid's a Rockies fan. He's a smart kid. And
yes.
Dad hasn't converted yet. Give him time. Dad, you'll come around.
You'll get it, Dad. Special times at the ballpark.
Nothing better. 0-2 on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt will not chase out of the zone.
And it is not a strike on the Subaru strike zone. And when it's the pitch 3, that's about a ball and a half off the strike zone. That's how good of an eye he has.
Walked twice, though he hasn't had a lot of success against Tyler. 1 for 9. Foul tip, swung on and missed. That'll be a strikeout. Held by Hundley. That is strikeout number 4 tonight for Chatwood. The second out in the 6th.
And it might be the 3rd one that's been fouled off into the glove of Nick, and he's held onto it.
David Peralta single to left his last time up. 0-1. Gonzalez Germain throwing as Chatwood approaches the mid-90s in pitches. And a ground ball to Mark Reynolds, and that's all for Arizona in the sixth. 6 shutout innings for Tyler Chatwood. Rockies up 5-0. Top of the order next. Stuff.
You know what? Put in your orders. But put in your. That's what I'm going to say. Put in your orders. I'm going back to Hartford next week for Kyle's graduation at UConn, so I'll be back in the Hartford area.
I want to.
Socks. Okay, write it down.
Unlike Jenny, I'm going to keep it simple. I'd like a Yard Goats T-shirt.
Okay.
For everybody in my family. How about Freeland?
Oh, my.
He's got an 0.87 ERA. 7 more
remember,
shutout innings tonight for the former TJ star. 1-0 on Charlie Blackmon. 2 hits tonight for Charlie.
And remember, all of these starts are on the road. The ballpark has not opened up yet, the Dunkin' Donuts ballpark in Hartford. So they play the first 50-plus games on the road. But they beat the Flying Squirrels tonight.
Whenever the Yard Goats ought to be Flying Squirrels. Always felt that way. By the way, Enrique Burgos is on the hill, and this is a fly ball to Tomasin left, 1 out. And there's the numbers for Burgos.
He was recalled from AAA Reno back on the 23rd.
He was up
3 different
at the start of the year.
Yeah, and then 3 different stints last year. 2-2 with a couple saves, a 4.67 ERA in 30 games.
David Dahl's name was mentioned. David hitting .273 with 7 home runs. I believe that's leading the Eastern League, isn't it?
Last I checked, it was. I don't know what happened tonight.
Where Freeland's got to pick it up, to be honest, is at the plate. He has not had a hit yet.
I like the .87 ERA, and then I'll worry about the hits later.
Yeah, 2 strikes on Story. Story single, then a walk, and then a 2-run home run. His 10th of the year. Dahl's tied for the Eastern League lead in home runs with Trey Mancini of Norfolk. And that is caught by Segura.
But he jumped and then had to reach to his left.
Thing had topspin on it, didn't it?
Did. That's all you can do, Trevor, is hit it hard. But Segura jumps, thinking he has to get way up off the ground, and then reaches to his left to make the play.
Nolan followed up Story's 2-run home run in the 5th inning with a home run of his own after a lengthy battle with Robbie Ray.
Said, go ahead and hit my 10th of the season. Still think it goes back to after that first at bat. He had that bat that just didn't sound right. Went to the new one.
That sounded better.
That sounded much better.
2 strikes. He was on fire. He was hitless tonight for Asheville. Asheville fell 7-3 to West Virginia. But Brendan Rodgers, #1 pick last year of the Rockies, hitting .338 in Asheville. And Nolan sharply hit to Segura. All of a sudden, everybody's hitting it at Segura. 1-2-3 7th for Burgos. Stretch time in the desert. Rockies have all the runs. 5-0. Here's our Kubota pitching performance. What a performance by Tyler Chatwood. Remember, the runs column has a 0 next to it. You know you've done good things. Just 4 hits allowed, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. A double play behind him also. And last at bat, Paul Goldschmidt went down swinging. He was the first guy. Watch this. This is in between innings. The Rockies, made the final out, and he's out there by himself. I mean, on a jog to the mound, he was out there a full 30 seconds before the next player arrived. I mean, it was as soon as that last out was recorded, it was a dead sprint, just in case Walt would change his mind and take him out of the game after 6 innings.
So, no, I'm out here. I'm out here, Skip. He beat some of the Diamondback players who are running off the field. He beat them out there.
Yes.
7 ground ball outs, 6 fly outs, 4 strikeouts, and also the caught stealing for Tyler and Nick Hundley tonight.
And he's very quickly ahead of Tomas. 0-2. Curveball misses.
The previous 6 innings, 4 times the leadoff man had reached base, but he pitched out of it. And that was the good part about it. A walk, and then he'd get a double play. Last inning, another walk, fly out, strikeout, easy ground out.
The last road trip through Chicago and Cincinnati, the Rockies split 3-3 with a little bit of good fortune. It could have, been a 4-2 kind of trip. They took 2 of 3 in Chicago, which was really impressive. We all know how well the Cubs were playing and are playing. But they had a 2.45 starter ERA on that trip. They came home and it was not pretty. ERA close to 10 at home. Now back on the road, Chatwood throwing up zeros. He'll bounce on this one. 1 out. Wellington Castillo coming up, and Jenny has more on Yard Goat's gear. Jenny.
Catcher, Wellington Castillo.
Okay, please do.
You didn't know in Kingston that Yard Goat stuff is all the rage?
I like that.
What you're going to see in the Winter Olympics, the next Winter Olympic Games, is when that Jamaican bobsled team gets done with their run, they're going to take their helmets off and immediately put Yard Goat hats on. .20, that's in there. 2-1 on Castillo. What a find this guy's been for Arizona. Former Cub with the Mariners for a hiccup. And he has hit more home runs than anybody who catches in baseball since he arrived in Arizona. He's got 6 this month also, at 18 last year.
5 home runs in the last 8 games for Wellington.
Rockies up 5-0, 2-2, and a broken bat, base hit. That's pitch number 106.
Mini plan started just 8 games and $111 guaranteed the Yankees and summer fireworks games with the 15-game pickup plan.
Yeah, Walt's going to call an end to Chatwood's night. 6 1/3 beautiful innings for Tyler. It's hard to, in back-to-back appearances against the same team in their ballpark, shut them down the way Tyler has the Diamondbacks this year.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, Tyler Chatwood, when he left the mound, gave a quick thumbs up to Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire. We'll show it in just a minute. I just thought it was a classy move on Tyler's, because he's saying, nice job tonight. I mean, that's not to go unnoticed by an umpire. And Paul just kind of shook his head. And we had some disagreements with the strike zone a few times during the Pittsburgh series. But tonight, I thought Paul Emmel's strike zone was very, very consistent.
Yes. 0-1 on Brandon Drury. Gonzalez, Germain.
4 innings for Gonzalez. He did not pitch in Wednesday's affair, in which the Rockies used 6 pitchers. They had to pick up 8 1/3 inning. 3 earned runs, so he's had a few days off, nice and fresh, ready to get going.
Boy, that bullpen needed a day off
Didn't
yesterday.
they? Well, between the 6 pitchers, the innings pitched, and then having yesterday off, everybody gets back on track.
Two-strike count on Drury with 1 out. Castillo at first base. Hard sinker. Actually, that was a changeup.
It had sinking action on the changeup.
Swung on and missed. Germain strikes out Brandon Drury. Walt Weiss was asked before the ball game if that day off yesterday, the postponement, was a blessing in disguise.
I don't even know if it was a disguise, that blessing. I think it's just a blessing, really. Tough homestand, rough weather. Our bullpen was pretty much spent, so I think it came at a pretty opportune time.
Owings takes outside. Yeah, it was an opportune time. Walt with that dry sense of humor. He's got a great sense of humor, man. He doesn't always come out. I think in television you don't always notice it, but we're obviously around Walt quite a bit. Great sense of humor. Keith Hessler is now throwing in Arizona's pen. Owens 2 doubles. He was the only guy who hit the ball hard against Chatwood. 1-1.
38 career games against the Rockies, hitting .333. Everybody else just .232.
.5-mile-an-hour fastball, a little low. Inside, 3-2.
Ricky Weeks Jr. on the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot comes up. We have a moment. Just give you a quick update. Jason Mott is here. He threw a bullpen today. It went extremely well from what they're saying. He still has to throw a few more and then would go out on a rehab, but he's progressing nicely.
Good to see.
Miguel Castro, same thing. Not throwing a bullpen yet, just throwing again, so he's moving along.
Adam Ottavino moving along also. And Scotty Murayama gets to work with all those guys. This ball's lined to center, and Charlie will get there. So Owings hit it hard 3 times tonight. Tyler Chatwood, 6 1/3 shutout innings. Rockies leading as we go to the 8th, 5-zip.
Go to the 8th, Ryan Rayburn is going to hit second here. I was talking to Ryan about Nolan Arenado because Nolan made his debut here in Arizona on April 28, 2013. And Rayburn's played some infield in the big leagues. And I said, what impresses you the most about Nolan and how he plays third base since you hadn't seen him until this year being an American leaguer?
You know what? I've actually talked to him about it because he's so, his anticipation is unbelievable, but that's the thing, I think, he told me every pitch he's ready for the ball to come to him, and that's hard to do, especially in the infield, because, that's a lot of pitches, a lot of, chances that you could possibly make. And, but every play, he's ready. He thinks that ball's coming to him. And like I said, man, he anticipates everything.
Huey, I found that interesting. He said he thinks the ball is going to be hit to him every single play, every single pitch. And you played him. That's hard to do, right, to keep that concentration up.
It is, but a tip of the cap to Nolan to be able to do that and to think that every ball is going to be hit to him. That's why he's won gold every year. That's why he has 0 errors this year so far.
Mark Reynolds against Keith Hessler here in the 8th inning. I think you have to have that demeanor as an infielder, don't you?
You do. Otherwise, you'll be surprised when the ball's hit to you.
About the Rockies' first baseman, it's a combination of Reynolds and Ben Paulson, and they have both delivered. I'll show you a graphic here in a moment. See the work Hessler did on Tuesday. A couple innings of work. Hessler was in Mobile in Double-A ball earlier this year. There's a strike, 2-1. The Rockies' first basemen are hitting .338, which is #1 in baseball.
Walt's found the right mixture of when to play guys, when to give Ben the opportunity to go out there.
And it's not a straight platoon.
No,
there's a lefty on the mound.
That's what I'm saying.
That means it's Reynolds.
Yeah, that's why it said finding the right opportunity for each guy.
And this ball's in the air, left center field, and it'll drop in front of Tomas. And it's a single leading off the 8th inning for Mark Reynolds. He's 1 for 4. A reminder that after every Rockies win, and the Rockies are well on their way tonight, get 50% off your online order the next day at Papa John's. Just utilize the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Mark was talking about Ryan Rayburn. Here he comes to the plate. Walk, home run, strikeout tonight for Rayburn. Here's a did you know. Ryan Rayburn's first career home run came in 2007, and it was off of his now teammate, Jorge De La Rosa.
Dougie's been finding all kinds of nuggets tonight.
That hit him on the foot.
So he's been hit on the hand, although that was just a foul ball, and now off the foot.
I think Wellington Castillo was running out there. He wasn't.
Maybe
he was just, you know, it's the catcher's responsibility. If a hitter goes to the mound, the catcher's got to intercede. Now, I don't think he really thought that Rayburn was going to the mound. He was hopping, but he was hopping in the direction of Hessler.
He's laughing about it, but he's in pain. Oh, right off the outside portion. But you see why Castillo did what he did, because as far as Ryan ran, kind of jogged out. With 6 or 7 hops on the way. He wasn't going to get Hessler.
Just the pain
Just
took
the
him
pain
in that
took
direction.
him there.
Here's Gerardo Parra, 0 for 3 tonight. Ball in the air to left a couple times. Also a strikeout. That's on the corner. Parra, a popular figure when he played down here in Arizona. Two strikes. Rockies trying to add on. They're up 5-0. This is also one of those ballparks, Huey, not dissimilar to Coors Field, where you never feel entirely comfortable.
Don't go to sleep. Don't coast to the end.
That almost looked like a deke. It almost looked like when, you know, when there's a high throw to the first baseman on a pickoff and he runs
jumps up
3-4 steps.
But I think this was different because Wellington, I don't think he knew where this ball was. It's the hardest read for a guy at second base because the ball goes behind. So the depth perception, you can't really see where it is in relation to your ability to get to third base.
Yeah, that was legit. 2-2. Nobody out. Reynolds and Rayburn aboard. Nick Hundley on deck. Keith Hessler, the 5th pitcher utilized tonight by Chip Hale. And this ball's hammered deep right center field, way back and off the very top of that overhang. And it's a run-scoring double for Parra. Stopping at third base is Rayburn. Got to see where this thing hit.
I think it's about a foot and a half below the yellow line, hitting the wiring out there. And that's why they have that yellow line painted, to help the umpires determine where it hits. but it was crushed. Yep, it just about a foot and a half below the line.
6-0 Rockies. And here's Hundley. Chance to do significant damage. 2 in scoring position, and the infield's come in a little beyond halfway.
Back to the Parra swing on the long double. With 2 strikes, just a short, compact swing. Finishes with both hands on the bat, and then it travels about 410 feet or so.
You know, has the highest batting average against lefties on the Rockies this year. That's down the line. Fair ball. That'll get 2 home. Rayburn walks home. Parra jogging home on a 2-run double by Nick Hundley. And now the Rockies are blowing away the Diamondbacks. Are up 8-0. And you know what that means.
Tacos.
Second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
So Nick Hundley, a 3 RBI night. You know, this is a great way to snap a 5-game losing streak.
Yes, it is. Come out with your hitting shoes on. Nick with the infield in. Hits it just past the diving Jake Lamb. And 3 RBIs is a nice figure for Nick tonight.
LeMahieu robbed his last time up by Gene Segura. So to answer the question I asked,
yes,
who's leading the Rockies against left-handed pitching?
Parra.
And Parra was the guy, so many stops, especially down here. Well, he's a platoon player. He's not going to play against lefties. This ball's hit a long way to center field, but Owings will get back, and tagging from second is Hundley. He'll move up 90 feet.
Yeah, you and I have discussed numerous times why he wasn't allowed the opportunity to be an everyday player.
Yeah, he's an everyday player with the Rockies, and they like what they've seen so far. Year 1 of a 3-year deal for Gerardo. We get tacos, fans. The Rockies have hit the magic number of 7. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special lip moss at Taco Bell. So Gonzalez Germain's schedule will be Christian Adames pinch hitting. Justin Miller is going to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. And that's on the ground, over the bag, long throw, and an accurate one by Lamb.
A lot of things going on for Jake Lamb on that ground ball. And the ball coming right down the line, the base runner getting back to the bag. Ball goes over the bag, then you have to throw it across the diamond.
He's got a big arm.
He does. So ball's coming down right over the top of the bag. Nick has to duck. In any event, it's an out.
Charlie Blackmon, first ball game back, coming off the disabled list with the left big toe injury, the turf toe. He's got 2 hits and 4 at bats. Two sharp singles tonight in the 5th inning. He came around on the Trevor Story home run. Rockies have hit 4 homers tonight. Story, Arenado, Rayburn, Hundley. 8-0 the Rockies lead. And now a 2-0 count. Blackmon hitting with Hundley at third base.
But just to add on to your comment from a moment ago, as Justin Miller warms up in the bullpen, is after that day off to come out down here, throw up an A spot, hit some home runs. Tyler Chatwood goes out, lowers his road ERA to .46.
Crazy. You need a laugher. You'd like a lot of them, but the Rockies were in desperate need of any kind of win. But to hopefully close this one out in comfortable fashion. Tyler Chatwood holding court in the corner of the dugout, or maybe that's Cargo holding court.
Either one.
Yeah. Charlie. It's 3-2. Rockies lost on Wednesday night, that 12-inning affair, after coming all the way back 9-8. That was despite producing 18 hits. We got 10 hits tonight. 4 have left the building.
Oh, I love it.
Those are two popular guys in the clubhouse. Outside, so Charlie earns a walk.
The respect that Tyler has from that locker room and his teammates is all the time he spent around the club, encouraging, talking to guys, even while he was on the DL rehabbing from Tommy John.
Yeah, he was always around. That gentleman in the background, I'm sure many of you recognize, the veteran pitching coach, pitching guru, Mark Wiley's with the Rockies
there
this
he
week.
is.
There's Mark. Always good to have Mark around.
Daniel Descalso in the picture.
Yeah, Daniel was taking ground balls before the ball game.
Daniel.
Mark been out scouting a little bit, and he told me the pitching depth in this June draft, both high school and from a collegiate standpoint, is as good a group of high-end guys as he's seen in a long, long time.
Well, last year was not as, the depth wasn't as much.
No.
There's a few guys out there, obviously, but not just the depth overall.
Well, there's always going to be some players, but this crop is supposed to be really special. And the Rockies have the 4th selection, and I want to say the 34th selection. There's the 1-0. Yeah, called strike on Story. 1-1 on Trevor. Single, walk, 2-run home run, just an absolute bomb to left, and then a line drive to short that Segura made a nice play on. So he's had a strong night offensively. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Here's the ball he hit out in the 5th inning. Look at this thing.
I got an official distance on it. Let's just say a long ways.
Really far.
And really loud. The exit velocity, all that will come through. We'll have it for you tomorrow, but just know that it was his 10th home run.
Tying the rookie record for April, set by Jose Abreu a couple of years ago at the White Sox. Swung on a miss. Should be mentioned Abreu, not to take anything away from Abreu, but you know, Abreu was a pro in Cuba for a decade also. Rockies come up with 3 more runs. Everybody having a good time. Kisses all around. 8-0 Rockies. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Transparency, Low Fares, Nothing to Hide. By Reserve Casino Hotel, I-70 West, exit 243 in Central City. By Wells Fargo, customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by Volkswagen. It's been a very pleasant return to the desert for the Rockies at Chase Field in downtown Phoenix. The Rockies leading 8-0. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Justin Miller will take over. 9-1-2 in the batting order for Arizona. Ricky Weeks is going to pinch hit, and the fastball misses, ball one. Rockies made a couple other defensive changes. I'll show you Justin Miller's numbers on the season so far.
Part of the 6 guys out of the bullpen on Wednesday who threw an inning, gave up a earned run on 1 hit, a couple strikeouts.
And that's low and in. Nolan Arenado is going to get off his feet the last inning or two. Christian Adames will stay in the ballgame, play third. And also, Rockies made a change in left field. Ryan Rayburn will catch a break.
Get some ice on that foot.
Way inside 3-0. Ben Paulson's out in left field now. Here's Benny. Weeks, former star with the Milwaukee Brewers. I want to watch the guy take a loud BP. Watch Ricky Weeks. He can hit him far. Different body build than his little brother Jamal.
Jamal much thinner.
Ricky's built like a linebacker.
He's one of those guys you could put at the combine and think, well, yeah, I can see how he would.
Yeah.
A lot of productive years for Milwaukee.
Yeah, all-star in 2011. He's got 150 career home runs. 3-2 on Ricky Weeks. And a strikeout. Justin Miller comes all the way back.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices.
Gene Segura 0 for 2, walked in the 6th inning. Slider for a strike. Dodgers are at home playing the Padres. They're in the 8th inning. It's 1-1. The Giants were hammered in New York tonight, 13-1. Strasburg winning again for Washington tonight over St. Louis. Well, that had a lot of tilt to it.
Juan Nicasio.
Yeah, despite the 5-game losing streak, Huey, if the Dodgers lose to the Padres tonight and the Rockies hold on here up 8-0 late, it'd be a game back behind the Giants and Dodgers. That's ridiculously early. Yeah. But everybody
all those
kind of
losses are at home.
Yeah, and everybody kind of beating up on one another.
All 10 games on this road trip. In the National League West, you come back home off this road trip, play the Arizona Diamondbacks again for 3 more. So your next 13 ball games in the division.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, Jeff, when we go to San Diego after this. That ballpark is playing like a hitter's paradise for the 2nd straight year. I mean, it's shocking to think that way because Petco, one of the 2 or 3 best pitchers parks in the game, if not the best, for so long.
Then you wonder why or how. Why is it playing that way?
Well, they say with the buildings that went up that it changed the jet stream. Nolan having fun with Chad Bettis.
And
John
I'm just
Gray in front of Chad.
And I'm just thinking about Nolan here, and even these 2 innings that he gets off, the last 2, will help. It's not much, just 6 outs, but it feels a lot more to a player. That and an earlier start time tomorrow too.
You have 5 o'clock local, which means 6 o'clock back home.
5:30 for the pregame show.
Softly hit to Reynolds. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Jake Lamb.
You see Trevor. So we got some information on that home run.
What do you got?
It was 108 miles off, 108 miles per hour off the bat, and it traveled 440 feet.
The average distance of his home runs is, you know, I would guess, we can figure this out too, probably around 420.
Or far enough to serve at least a snack, maybe a quick drink.
I don't serve as much food on flights these days,
Well,
Huey. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
Pretzels or peanuts, pal.
You get those.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
I mean, if you fly first class like Doug, then you get the meal.
Doug's on his own jet. One strike on Jake Lamb. And here's the 2-strike delivery. Pulled foul. See, our little Rockies fan is thrilled with what's going on, so much so that Dad's had to take a walk. He's had to take a breather. Oh, there he is. I think Miller thought he was going to invite a swing. He located that well. Dad's handling it well.
He is.
See you later. Right down the middle. Justin Miller, a strong frame. Couple strikeouts in a 1-2-3 8th inning. To the 9th we go. Rockies 8 and the Diamondbacks nothing. Rockies leading Arizona in the top of the 9th inning. Ben Paulson will get his first at bat. It'll be Paulson, Reynolds, and then we'll get a pinch hitter. Well, maybe Justin Miller will get the hit. Tyler Clippard is on for Arizona. You see Chip Hale's strategy with the early departure of Robbie Ray. He just went 4+ innings and having to eat up 5 innings rather than assign one guy 2 or 3 innings. He's used 5 different pitchers for an inning. Barrett, Delgado, Burgos, Hessler, now Clippard.
Yeah, for Barrett, 16 pitches, Delgado 14, Burgos 9. The only guy that went more than that magical 25 for an inning was Hessler, who threw 28. Now for Tyler Clippard coming in. This is his career game number 499.
That's a bunch of appearances for one of the more successful setup guys the last several years in the game. Missed with a changeup, missed with a fastball. It's 2-0 on Paulson. Pitch is a lot like Trevor Hoffman used to pitch. On the gas, off the gas.
And you think that the gas is going to be harder because he's throwing all arms and legs, and then the ball doesn't come out quite as hard as it appears when you're in the box. Hoffman was that way.
2-1.
See awkward swings, reach, and even with Trevor, you knew it was coming to be a changeup. That was a changeup from Clippard. Still couldn't wait back. Even if you were sitting on it and guessing.
Is that the hardest pitch to pick up?
Yes.
The good changeup?
Yeah, the good changeup, as long as the arm action was the same. They didn't deviate or slow down the arm action.
Reach back, got 92 there.
The reason being because as that arm's coming forward, your mind is processing it like it's a fastball. But then when they turn it over, they, circle, split, whatever you want to call it, then it just doesn't ever get to that hitting zone.
And there was the changeup. Paulson strikes out. That'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Here's our CenturyLink. What's next? Chris Russin will make a spot start for the Rockies tomorrow. He made some good starts last year, a couple complete games at Coors Field. Zach Greinke's won a couple games finally for his new club, but he still has an unsightly 6.16 ERA. The league's hitting .305 against him. Russin, so far this year, working long haul relief and doing very well at that. The Rockies knocked him around on opening day this year. Boy, that was a little tougher read. Reynolds almost beat it. Second baseman Brandon Drury. The ball's not getting to me. He wasn't hit as hard as he thought it was. Kind of a fisted, soft liner.
Or a changeup. We've been talking about changeups from a pitcher. That was a changeup to a fielder.
Yeah, you can relate to
that.
It's like,
hey, it's like, okay, you're supposed to, it came off the bat looking hard. Wait, I'll sit. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I better get rid of it now.
Yeah, then you had an awkward little second hop. Tony Walters is the pinch hitter. And a changeup at the knees for a strike. Scott Oberg's going to pitch the 9th inning for Colorado. There's a UConn product. Two-one. Does remind you of Hoffman, though, doesn't it?
It does. The way he falls off the mound, too.
2-2, and that is a fair ball. Good for Tony. He needs this. Into the corner, and Walters will have himself a double. That snapped an 0 for 18 for Walters. And you know who's as happy as Tony is?
Cargo.
Blake Doyle, Walt Weiss, because Walt said, here's an opportunity, even though he's the backup catcher, I can get him in a bat. And you know, one at bat, Huey, that can make all the difference from a confidence standpoint.
You know what? We saw it with Christian Adames last week at home. Pinch hit, RBI single up the middle. Next game he plays, gets a couple hits, works out a walk then. Yeah, one at bat.
Parra's 1 for 4 was a big one, though. He hit a 420-foot double to drive in a run, and this ball is launched toward right center, and this one is going to produce another run. Walters jogs home, another double for Parra, who's among the league leaders in that department, and it's 9-0 Colorado. Remember, he had 3 doubles opening day.
And 2 doubles tonight. Part of their 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position for Colorado. This is not quite as far as his last double, but in the general direction.
The last 4 hits for the Rockies are all doubles. The Rockies have a dozen hits. They're equally distributed. 4 singles, 4 doubles, 4 bombs. Nick Hundley, a home run and a double, appropriately enough. You know, that wild.
Not a bad slugging percentage.
No, that'll help the slugging percentage. You know, that wild affair on Wednesday that unfortunately the Rockies fell in 12 to Pittsburgh. They had 3 players for only the 2nd time in franchise history, all one particular hit away from producing a cycle.
Nolan, Rayburn, Reynolds.
Parra tied for 2nd in the league in doubles. Nick Markakis of Atlanta has 11. That's like a home run for the Braves. They're petitioning the commissioner, asking Commissioner Manfred, can some of our doubles count for homers since we've only hit 5 of them? And Nick goes down swinging. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Parra produces another run for the Rockies. 9-0. They lead Gerardo's former club. Rockies, great start to this road trip. They're 3 outs away from ending a 5-game losing streak. Scott Oberg's going to throw the 9th inning for the Rockies. It'll be Goldschmidt, Peralta, and Tomas scheduled.
They might go to their bench with Chris Herman instead of Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, not a surprise given the score.
Tony Walters staying in the ball game. Second base.
Had to look in that big bag of his and find which glove he wanted.
Oh, he takes ground balls every day out at second base. But you keep him in the game in the rare case, and you hope it doesn't happen, but something happens to Nick behind the plate.
Chris Herman started yesterday, hit a home run. His last couple of starts, he's hit a home run. Former White Sox catcher. I mix that up. Is it White Sox or Minnesota Twin?
Minnesota Twin.
Minnesota Twin, that's right.
Same division. That's probably what threw you off.
Midwest. Lump them all together. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The White Sox are leading that division.
Chris Sale's 5-0, and Matt Latos has been sensational. Yeah, that Matt Latos.
Yes, exactly. That one. They did lose at Baltimore tonight. Because coming into tonight, they still had a 3-game lead on Kansas City. Kansas City's losing to Seattle 1-0 top of the 9th.
2-2. Boston and the Yankees getting together this weekend at Fenway. Boston won tonight 4-2. The Yankees are now 8-13. It's an old club. .5-mile-an-hour fastball's fouled off. Orioles with that win, they're 14-8, leading the East. Changeup misses, 3-2.
Baltimore 9-1 at home now.
That is the best home record in baseball. I know we're trying to pile on the Braves, but it is low-hanging fruit right now. They're 1-12 at home. It's the last year that they'll call Turner Field home.
It was a ghost town before. I wonder what it's going to be like when we go in this year.
Good point. This lifted to center field. Charlie will get over there and make the catch. 1 out. David Peralta with 1 out in the 9th will be next. So again, Chris Russin for the Rockies, Zach Greinke for Arizona in game 2 of this 3-game set. Yeah, this has not been a good place for the Rockies historically. We've chatted about that. Further evidence of that, the last 50 games that the Rockies have played at Chase Field, they're 16-34. That includes the 2 wins earlier in the season.
It goes all the way back to 2011.
They haven't swept the series here since 2004. Tyler Anderson. Oh, great hook.
Dandy.
You see the stuff that Oberg has, and you understand why the Rockies believe he has the ability to be a late inning guy.
It's a plus curveball. But being able to repeat it, the consistency.
Yeah. And also, for whatever reason, his fastball is a little straighter. He's got to do something about the home run bugaboo.
Yes. And we saw it in his last appearance.
Missed with that curveball. It's 3-2 on Peralta. And Peralta hits it in the air to Paulson in left. 2 outs. Two gone in the ninth. It'll bring up Yasmani Tomas. Last chance for Arizona. Rockies have out-hit the Diamondbacks 12-5 tonight. And it was a tight game early. Robbie Ray was pitching well. 3 shutout innings, and the Rockies hit the 2 solo home runs. Rayburn and Hundley against him in the 4th. Opened things up and knocked him out in the 5th. Changeup fouled off. One and one on Tomas. Single back in the second. He's 1 for 3. And Oberg gets a ground ball foul.
One more pitch and shake hands.
That sounds like a good plan.
That's the best plan going.
Yep. All right, the next.
Right.
One more pitch.
It's like the kids in the batting cage. One more.
One more.
One more. Just one more. How many times do you hear that? One more.
A lot. I'm okay with that.
That's right.
2-2. Three singles, 2 doubles tonight for Arizona. The 2 doubles produced by the same guy, Chris Owings. 2-2. How'd you not swing at that? 3-2. Three-two fouled off. Really annoying, Yasmani.
Yes, it is. But to his credit, he's not giving the bat away. And we've talked about that before.
Yes.
How even in a 9-0 game.
And another 3-2. And another foul ball.
Okay, now it's getting annoying. All over the Subaru strike zone. Chip Hale, Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. Great hitter in his own right.
A terrific hitter.
For the Mets.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Tomas earns a walk. Dave McKay will greet him down at first base, and Wellington Castillo will come up. Broken bat single in the 7th inning for Castillo. He's 1 for 3. Strike 1. Rockies scored 4 the final 6 innings, 2-1. Popped up and maybe playable. It is. Ball game over. Mark Reynolds makes the catch. And what a way to begin the road trip. The Rockies snap a 5-game losing streak in